Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you guys doing? 3 winning days in a row. Hey, we're chipping away here, okay? Sometimes we're going to have the haymaker days where we're going 3-0, 4-0. Some days we're just going to go 2-1, and that's what we did yesterday. We were able to cash in. Let's see if we can do it again today, and I'm going to give you guys my first MLB future. Let's get into it. This is the Free 3.
I love it, Noble. Noble, I also love your YouTube videos. I watched them while I was gone. That was fire.
But getting paid because yesterday we had a full sweep. Mike going under, that was just icing on the cake. Why are we going to go in such a weak AFC South? Unless we have the NBA Blowout Association.
Bang! Knicks take a 1-point lead with 13 seconds.
When you hear the sirens, you know what that means.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me.
Good morning. What is up, my friends? It is your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just try to get to the bag together and make that money. Well, get to the bag. It's not the best way that we've been doing it, but listen, a win here, a win there. That's how you grow the bankroll, and that's what we've been able to do over here on the channel over the last few days. In today's video, I'm going to give you guys a quick recap about how we did yesterday and then also breaking down my favorite plays for today. I think the builder parlays, how you guys have been liking that. Those have been cashing in for us. We cashed in another one yesterday. So I've got one of those for you guys alongside one player prop and then also my first MLB future. So let's recap yesterday real quickly here. Yesterday was a 2-1 day for us, really close to being a 3-0 sweep. You can see we went 2-1. You can follow us on X on Twitter for all updated information on picks and plays and analysis. So I tweeted out, this is how we did yesterday. We got Chattanooga plus 3.5 correct. They were down double digits at halftime, and guess what happened? We were able to come back and grab the outright win. Shout out to my alma mater, Chattanooga, for getting it done. Our other win of the day, Najee Marshall and Lonzo LaMelo Ball. Najee, guys, I told y'all. Take it at the regular spread if you want to. 15 plus points. He scored 38. Now, LaMelo was a sweat. Not going to lie. Dude had like 5,000, like 15 minutes in the third quarter. But for some reason, he decided to find his bag in the fourth quarter. He made the game close and competitive, and he got 20 points. So we're not going to complain about it. Now, this parlay, I hate to see it lose, but this is why we sometimes take these moneyline parlays. I did not give out the play live. But when LaMelo Ball came into the game and started scoring points, the Hornets were in the game for the majority of the game. You could have gotten the Magic at plus value several times. I got the Magic at like plus 115, plus 125, and that was my way of hedging off the Carolina Hurricanes because I knew they were down 2-1 at the time going into the third period, and I was just like, you know what? I told y'all, hockey's not my sport. I was choosing between a few favorites. It was literally between the Hurricanes and the Lightning for me, and I chose the Hurricanes. So I should have chosen the Lightning. It happens. So this is what, sometimes when you're doing the money lines parlays, you can still hedge off of it if you're able to get it at plus value. So overall, it was a 2-1 day. Not too bad. Up $100 on the day. We'll take it. Over the last 30 days, you can see what we're doing here, guys. These are $100 bets. Only 1 unit we're putting on. I'm not doing 5-unit plays, 3-minute unit maxes, 10. I'm only literally doing 1-unit plays on this, and you can see what we're up here on the channel. So let's see what we can do here. We do have a few futures pending. So let's talk about the futures that I've locked in, guys. You guys know the futures that we have going on for the NCAA tournament. I also added Ole Miss to make the Final Four. I think I told you guys that on Monday at plus 700. But we also do have the MLB futures coming out, and we also can take a look at win totals. Now, action is weird with the win totals. I don't know what's like really going on over here with it. So we can go to like DraftKings if we want to. I'm not going to pull up the full slate. I'm just going to tell you guys real quickly what my win total is, my first one of the year. And it's going to be the Texas Rangers over 85.5 wins. Okay. That's my first win total of the year. If you look at the depth chart for the Texas Rangers this year, they are stacked, okay? Last year, they didn't make the playoffs, which was not surprising, but it's also one of those things where it's like you win the World Series the year before, it's a hangover year. They won 90 wins in the regular season the year they went to the World Series. I'm expecting back a return to form for the Rangers this season. Why? Because they've been able to add some pitching this season. They obviously have Nathan Eovaldi. They've got DeGrom. We need him to stay healthy here. He hasn't been healthy, but we need it. They added Jake Leiter, right? But then also, when you look at the hitting, I love the pickup of Jake Berger. He's such a consistent hitter. He's one of those guys that gets on base, and when you can add that into the mix, Knicks, when you have a guy like Corey Seager, like Garcia, that opens up the game a lot offensively. And I think that is what the Rangers can really expect. Obviously, we need some health. We need a better season this year from Simeon and Seager, who had regression years last year. But I think because that World Series, again, that hangover happened, you missed the playoffs last year, you used the postseason, the off season. That's what I'm looking for, not the postseason, but use the off season to get your body, your mind, everything ready for this season. I think the Rangers can make a run. It is a very high total. You could do the Rangers to make the playoffs, but the only thing I've been seeing so far on that's like minus 130. I don't want to lay that type of juice for a future when we could probably just get it maybe a little bit later on in the season if they get started off to a slow start. If you want to take them to win the division as well in the AL Central, AL West, I like that as well because I don't think the Astros, I don't like them. I don't think the Mariners, I mean, they've got good pitching, but I don't think they have the hitting this year. The Astros, again, they have a whole lot of problems. And then what's the other team in that division? It's slipping my mind right now, but if I probably go to the schedule, it'll come to my mind. But I like the Rangers here. I think this is a good bounce back season for them, and I think the win total is pretty fair. Obviously, I don't think I'm getting the best number at 85.5. I think it'll open up a little bit lower. Oh yeah, the Athletics and the Angels, they're not going to be competitive. So I think the Rangers to win the division is a good look as well, if that's another look. But I do think the Rangers are a team to look at this season in the MLB. They've added a lot of key offseason pieces, and I like them this season. So that's my first best bet of the day, guys. What's up, guys? Good to see you guys in the chat. Good to see you guys. Athletics, okay. The Athletics, I think I'm gonna look at the A's. There are a few teams I want to take a look at. I'm talking about bottom tier teams. I think we can get some value on either the A's, maybe. I don't think I'm going to take an under on the Rockies or the White Sox, all honesty. Maybe the Pirates, their numbers kind of right there in the middle. So I'm looking for one of those like lower value teams. So this is kind of like my expensive team because I don't want to lay the Dodgers. Obviously, the Yankees are a little bit high, 91.5. But I think we're getting a pretty good value number here at the Rangers at 85. So moving on to the NBA real quickly here. We're going to talk about a few games, and the first bet I'm going to give you guys is a player prop. How have you guys been liking those builder parlays? I really like the builder parlay I have today, by the way. So let's give you guys the first player prop that I'm going to give you. And we're going to go James Harden over 20.5 points. The Clippers are taking on the New York Knicks, and the New York Knicks played last night against somebody. Who did the Knicks play? The Spurs, I want to say. I was watching the game because I wanted to take the Knicks on the money line. Oh, Dallas, of course, Dallas, because I told you guys to take the over in that game, and they over hit. Now, I was wrong on Dallas plus 10.5, so obviously the Knicks covered the spread there, but I did tell you I like the over because we had Najee Marshall. I don't know why that slipped my mind. But I like James Harden here today over 20.5 points, or no, we can do 21.5. If you can do that 20.5 at minus 130, okay, we get 20.5 at minus 125 on Caesars. I would shop around. Let's do the minus 125 up to 130. But after that, I'm gonna just make a note here. Up to minus 135. Then go to over 21.5, right? I'll make a note there. So the reason why that is because I like it at that value. Now, the Knicks, if we look at the numbers here, over the last 30 days here on Fantasy Pros, we can see the Knicks are giving up the most points per game to the point guard position, on average about 29.25 points. Now, if we take a look here at Mr. James Harden, if we go to Doing Sports real quick, I should have had all this pulled up. I'm sorry, I don't have my usual all my tabs open today. James Harden has been on an absolute tear recently. He's averaging 28 points per game over the last 10 games. You could see last game he went under against the Thunder with only 17. He only shot 4-14, and that's not surprising considering how strong the Thunder are defensively. They have key guys like Jalen Williams. But before that, 30 points against Memphis, 22 against Cleveland, 31 against Charlotte, 25 against Atlanta, 24 against Miami, 50. So ever since Malik Beasley went on the podcast and said that Harden was easy work, and Harden dropped 50 on his head, Harden's been talking and he's been showing up. So I like that narrative in and of itself. We get 20.5. He's gone over this number of 9 of the last 10 games. If we want to scroll out a little bit more recently against the Knicks, they played them on March the 7th, which was earlier this month. He had 27 points on 36 minutes on 7 of 20 shooting and 5 of 12 at three-point line. So the volume is there. He's been just as equally consistent on the road, going over this number on 7 of the last 10 games. So I love that. But then I went a little bit deeper, right? And I looked at James Harden when he plays at the Garden at New York. Because, New York is one of those strip town cities. You go to Starlet's after dropping 40, after dropping 50. That's a good time. You feel me? And you can see last time James Harden was in New York, he only had 17. The time before that, only 12. But if you go before that, back in his prime when he was with the Sixers and the Rockets, 29, 29, 35, 61, 31, 30, 26. So you can't tell me he doesn't like playing at the Garden. And right now with the form that he's in, coming off of a day of rest, the Knicks right now can't keep anything under to save a nosebleed. So for me, Harden should be able to get in his bag. I just mentioned the amount of points the Knicks are giving up 2-point guards. If we scroll out a little bit here, we could take a look at some of the recent competition they face. Jordan Poole, 25. LaMelo, 25. Duncan Robinson, 22. Steph Curry, 28. So last 10-point guards, 7 of them have gone over this number of 20.5 points or 21.5. I like this today. James Harden at the Garden over 20 or 21.5 points is our second best bet of the day. Our third and final pick of the day, guys, is going to be our builder parlay of the day. I did take a look a little bit at college basketball. I'll give you guys a few leans real fast. UC Irvine, I do lean, but UAB could play hard, and they're the type of team that's trying to win the NIT, so take that with a grain of salt. Illinois should win this game as well and cover the spread. I do think this Illinois State and Cleveland State can be a toss-up, so I'm not going to touch that game. But I don't really want to dive into the NIT today just because we've been able to do well in basketball. Now, the NBA Builder Parlay of the day is going to be a late night sweat. So I gave you guys one that hit at 7 o'clock. Make that money, and then you could chill, and then you could sprinkle a little bit on this one late night. All right? We got the Bucks and Nuggets. We got the Celtics and Suns. What are we going to do here? This is the builder lay for you guys. We're going to go Kuz, 15-plus points. Jaylen Brown, 20-plus points. These are two guys that should benefit from the recent injury situations. Jason Tatum's day-to-day with an ankle injury. We saw him get injured near the end of the game in the last game out for the Celtics. He's not listed to play today, so it's a game-time decision, so let's see. And if he is listed to play, then I would pivot to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant maybe 20-plus. Not Devin Booker, because Booker's been glitching. I would go Kevin Durant because Devin Durant's been on a tier. We're going to go to Doing Points to look at the numbers here in a second. But then also Kyle Kuzma, why does he get to benefit from an injury? Because Damian Lillard yesterday was ruled out with that blood clot indefinitely. We don't know how long he's going to be out for. So what does that mean? The Bucks are going to need a number 2 scorer. It's wide open. Obviously, Giannis is still the number 1, but who's going to step up in that number 2 spot? Is it going to be by committee with Brook Lopez one game? I'm sure. Bobby Portis another game when he comes back? I'm sure. But this is why they brought you here, Kuzma, because you are somebody who can stay healthy, unlike Chris Middleton, but also has the scoring ability like Chris Middleton and can be able to step up here. So I think this is where Kuz can really get into his bag a little bit, start evolving into his role, and he's going to be a player I'm going to be looking at taking consistently over the next few weeks if this theory holds up. So this parlay, 15-plus points, 20-plus points, it's been working for us here on the channel, so let's run it back again today. Now, to look at the numbers super quickly here, let's just go here. Again, these games are at 9 and 10 p.m. Eastern time, so this could be a late night sweat for you. We can take a look at Kyle Kuzma real quickly. Over the last recent games, if you take his point total at 16.5, 17.5, you would miss majority of the time. But at 15 points, you can see he got that last game against the Suns. He would have fallen short for us against the Kings with 14 points, but then he had 20 against the Lakers, 22 against the Warriors. He had only 10 against the Thunder, but this again was like when this is when he first started getting acclimated to the team. This is when we started really looking at Kuz more recently, and then the Dame news again came out literally yesterday. But then if you look over here for the defense for the Nuggets, they've also given up on average 19 points per game to starting small forwards, and we've seen guys like Denny Advia get 36, we've seen Jimmy Butler get 23, we've seen Keyshawn George get 19, Dalton Knecht get 32. So I think with the volume of shots that Kuzma should be able to get and ability to get through the free throw line, no reason why he should not be able to get 15 points. Now, for the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown has been struggling recently, but that's why I actually like him in this spot today, because sometimes you have to bet on a guy to bounce back. And Jaylen Brown recently has gone under his point total, only getting 10 against the Thunder, 8 against the Nets, and 9 against the Kings. Now, for me, there's no better time for you to get back on the right foot when your star player is out and your team needs you. Now, obviously, the Celtics are so deep because you can get a guy like Tariq White that can give you 25, 30, or same thing with Porzingis, same thing with even Peyton Pritchard. But Jaylen Brown, we need you in this form up here. When he had 24 against the Knicks, 24 against the Raptors, 26 against the Jazz, 31 against the Lakers. So he's still averaging 20 points per game over the last 10 games. These last 3 games of 10, 8, 9, and 9, that's just very irregular. So for me, I just like the volume that we should be able to get. Again, if you do want to pivot and go to Kevin Durant, I'm not opposed to that. If we look at KD real quickly, Chris Dunn is a good look at 9.5. You can see all those greens right there. That's not bad. But Kevin Durant, he's coming up a 38-point performance against the Bucks. He had 42 the game before that, 26 the game before that against the Bulls. He's playing very good basketball right now, but you can see his line's at 25.5. So if you do 20 points for Kevin Durant, it's probably going to run you, instead of this parlay being about like plus 100, it's going to probably be about minus 120, minus 125 or so. So if we go plug this in real quickly on Action Network, we can see what we will get for it. Let's see, 15 points, all points for Kyle Kuzma. And then if we go to the Boston Celtics, and the Celtics are still favored in this game, but I do think that this is a game that the Suns can win, which is another. Okay, so no props for the Celtics yet, so I can't plug this in just yet. So when that comes out, but I was able to get it on Bovada, so that's how I know it's like around like minus 100, plus 100 or something like that. So those are going to be the 2 places that we're going to be locking in today alongside the baseball future. Okay, guys? So for today, real quickly today, Kuzma, 15 plus points, Jaylen Brown, 20 points. We're going to go James Harden over 20.5 points, and then also the Texas Rangers over 85.5 wins on the season. All right, that's what we're locking in. I might have a play or 2 added a little bit later. I'm gonna probably maybe do one more player prop once I get a little bit more injury news, study the board a little bit more. But don't want to force anything right now. All right, and then we can cook up a few more plays for tomorrow with obviously Sweet 16 action here. All right, let's get it after it, guys. Appreciate you for tapping in this morning. It is your boy Noble Living as always. Get to that cheddar. Follow us on Action Network on X or on Twitter, so that way you guys can stay up to date on all the latest plays. My boy GM Glide says Towns under points. I'm not opposed to that. Second out of a back-to-back for the Knicks. He did have a big game last night with over 30 points, so I'm not opposed to that. Towns under points. I do think that might be a good read. So let's take a look at that as well today. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Let's have a day. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later, gang.